pie in the morning. I don't know if I've ever seen a morning that wasn't like this. So it's cool, I've got my evening clothes on. We're heading out of town, we've got a big day ahead because I'm going to compress days 3 and 4 into one day. So today we head back to Chiang Mai. I think you can see the profile on my computer. That's the first part of the ride, what would have been the whole day, but only 66 kilometers, but 2 massive climbs, total of over 2,500 meters of climbing in that 66k, and then relatively easy 70-80k back into Chiang Mai. Yeah, definitely a big day ahead. We're on the usual road climb from Pai to Chiang Mai, but we're going to turn off that in a bit. So still misty, still chilly. It's about 11-12 degrees, so I've still got my night gear on. I suspect it will stay like this until we climb up above the clouds. This is where we immediately get off the main road, the main Pai road, and turn for Wat Chan. So if you know these roads, and I've done them all before, behind us, that main road, 120k, 2,000 meters of climbing, relatively easy, can be a bit of traffic. Wat Chan road, 190k, nearly 5,000 meters of climbing. What we're going to do is somewhere in between the two. Up above the clouds as predicted, views opening up, bit of a descent, and then back into the big climb, the first big climb of the day, the biggest. Wow, went straight past that turning, but here it is, into the dirt. Okay, I'm going to strip my clothes off into a lovely bamboo tunnel, because I think we're going to soon be very warm. Let's go. Steep, loose descent to kick things off. Very steep, but just a short one, and then looks like we're following the river. Very pretty little trail. Now I know there's a few river crossings. Yep, here we go. First one, looks quite deep. Looks very deep. Wow. Yeah, let's try a different approach. I tested it with a stick and it didn't look quite as, well, I don't think it's quite as deep as it looks. Just go for it. Oh yeah. Woo. Wet feet for sure. Oh, soft sand. But we're through. My chain lube won't like that. Wet feet aside, this is already becoming one of my favourite parts of the trail. Very pretty along the river, through the woods, sort of single track, few steep climbs, but we're into the 15k climb now. I think probably more like 13 once we get this sort of flat rolly bit out of the way. 1100 meters to climb, so that is a steep average. Straight into the first of the steep, long, techie sections. Technical meaning you don't just sort of grind up like you would on a normal road. You've got to pick your way. It's so steep, you want to get out of the saddle to get more power, but that shifts your weight forward. Back wheel starts to spin, sit down, weight moves back, front wheel starts to lift up. It's a balancing act. Whew. I spy another river crossing. Yeah, these river crossings, they all look really deep. Just gotta go for it. Again, not as bad as it looked, but still pretty deep, over my hubs, over my wheel axles, chain completely submerged, so I'll probably have to re-lube at some point. I don't think that's the last of them. And 3, I think the difference, brakes start squealing as well. The difference between this and the 100 Rivers crossing is that the 100 Rivers crossing, the water's clear, so it doesn't look quite so deep. Here it's sort of murky, and it does look like fathomable, unfathomable deep. And that one was very deep, so, well, it'll require a little bike maintenance when we get home. Here's number 4. Again, trouble is, when you can't see the rocks lurking beneath the surface. Whew. Tough one. We missed number 5. It was very deep. Number 6. Very soft. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to get up. And a bit of a fall. Saw that coming. Out of the woods, off that trail. Oh man, that was hardcore. I'd say there were about 10 river crossings in the end, some with very steep exit ramps that you couldn't ride up. I couldn't ride up. As we saw, I fell on one of them. They got harder. But wow, what a great section. Slow going. A decent bridge now, little waterfalls. I'd say that probably the end of the wet feet. Looks like the road, the trail now just goes up. And here we go. Steepy steep. Very pretty out, but man, that was 26-27% ramps in a row. That's about as steep as it can get. Certainly on dust like this. Very, very hard going. And still 9k to go uphill. And a car coming. I'll let him come. That's the worst of the climbing done on this first climb. There's still a bit to go, but oh man, that middle section, that was brutal. Just one hideously steep ramp after another, but very beautiful. That aids, and not hot. If anything, a little bit chilly. I'm sweaty. I'm high up. Where are we? Nearly 1,400 meters up. There was a bit of a cool breeze a while ago. Official temperature 17 degrees. I'm just in a sweaty jersey, so once we get up we'll take a little break, re-lube my noisy chain, and just sit in the sun for a bit. Young lady, a bit more friendly. Over the top of the climb. And now long descent down, not sure what's at the bottom. Well, I do know what's at the bottom. The next climb! Into a little village. I'm hoping there's a shop. Oh, sort of a shop. Yeah, that'll do me. Let's see what they've got. 3 hours it took me to get up that first section. It was absolutely killer, but good to have a little break. I got a bottle of fake cola, a couple of little snacky things. That was about all he had, a very basic shop. But I've re-lubed my chain, given it a wipe down and a lube, emptied the stones out of my shoes, and I'm going to charge my camera. And then we've got more downhill and then back up. But the next climb looks, there's quite a lot of climbing, but it's in stages. Steep up and then a little bit of downhill. So I think it'll be a bit easier. Papaya? Hello! More friendly here. As I said, these guys were very friendly and wanted to know about the bike and where I was going. And it turns out they're Karen. Right, continue on downhill and then back into the next climb. Into the final climb. It's become a cement paved road now, which is a bit easier. Yeah, several very steep ramps, and I'm pleased to say we're past the snake section. The snake section was where my friend Chris, who did this last year, crashed, came off, and whilst lying on the ground nursing his injuries, this is how I believe the story goes, he came face to face with a snake. I sort of picture it like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, inches away. It was probably meters away. Chris can confirm or deny this. But that's no joke. There's some very poisonous snakes here. Middle of nowhere, you've had it. If you get bitten by a venomous snake, you're not going to get that anti-venom in time. So, a salutary lesson. Don't crash into snakes. Big landslide area, all been cleared now though. We're about halfway up this climb. We are about indeed halfway up this climb. A little bit easier now for a bit and then stiff to finish, but I think I'll make it. I could do with some real food though. I think when I get to Papai and near the main road, I should be able to find something cooked. Over the summit, and that should be most of the climbing done, certainly the big ones. Oh man, that was a morning. Over 2,500 meters of climbing in 53k. That's quite something. Anyway, now it's downhill, then there's another little climb, but just a sort of relative bump, and then hopefully some food. And we are down onto the main high road, turn right and head for home. The official, so I was going to spend the night here, but it's not that late and there's nowhere really decent to stay here. There's places for an emergency and they're not particularly cheap, so I'm just going to head for home. It's another 70 odd kilometers home, but mostly flat, a few little bumps downhill and then mostly flat home, and I should be able to get back in time for pizza night. Woo. The one thing I haven't seen this trip but thought I would is more people doing the route. Didn't see another cyclist the whole 3 days, although ahead there is one, but judging by the state of him and compared to the state of me, he's just been on the road, I think, riding from Pai. And I got some real food. Cow soy, northern curry. That'll see me through the next 60 or 70k. Lovely big trees lining the road here. One more tiny little bump, climb, and then that should be all the climbing done. Nearly 3,000 meters. Yeah, it will be 3,000 meters. Yeah, again, so tough old day, but loved it. Absolutely loved it. Right turn by the 7-Eleven. Somewhere just about here, off the main road and onto what we cyclists call the Prem Road. And this isn't the official Lanna Kingdom way back. They go on a slightly different route, Major Canal, maybe a little bit unpaved, but I don't need that. I've ridden those roads many times, and right now I just want to get home. I've certainly had my money's worth for today. So, in conclusion, the Lanna Kingdom, loved it, absolutely loved it, fantastic. I give that, I don't know, a lot out of 10. I know the guys who designed it, they said they rate it as difficulty 7 out of 10. I don't know how you come up with a number for that. And I might have agreed, excuse me young dog, I might have agreed, but then after this morning, I'm not so sure. Anyway, I did it in 3 days, they recommend 8. Yeah, I will do it again. Maybe I'll do it in the other direction next time. Anyway, Lanna Kingdom, big thumbs up from on today's ride. Almost home, but right at the end of my street, perfectly situated, is a scooter wash place. So I'm going to give my very dirty bike a clean. £5, about 10p in the slot, and perfect. And we're home. Whew.